The wind is really starting to blow. It's been in the high 90s, hundreds. We've got some terrible fires burning right now near us, and the wind isn't really helping at all. So thoughts and prayers with those who are either affected by the fires or are out there fighting them. Thank you. Coming up on our next videos, we are going to build the Dana 30. Oh man, sorry. My wife for dinner made these awesome bacon cheeseburgers. Tasted so good, but I kind of ate too much and now I got hiccups. So you're gonna have to bear with me. I gotta get this thing filmed in. I got hiccups. Anyways, we're gonna build the Dana 30 that came with this thing. And if you go on the internet, on YouTube, you'll see a lot of information about how to build the ultimate Dana 30, the Turdy 30. And that's really not my goal. I'm not trying to build the best Dana 30 that I can. My goal is simple. This is a budget build for a competition. I simply want to use the axle I have, which is the Dana 30 that came in this Jeep. So I want to take that and I want to use as many leftover parts as possible that I can, because I already have them. I bought them a while ago and I might as well use them. So we build a lot of Jeeps, especially Cherokees, Grand Cherokees, Wagoneers as well, like the old Wagoneers. We got some of that too, but we have a lot of Dana 30 parts left over. I have projects where I was going to swap a low pinion for a high pinion, ended up going with the low pinion anyways. And so I've got tubes, trusses, center sections, gears, whatever. I've got them. So the purchases were minimal. And all I'm trying to do is make an axle that'll hold up to 33-inch tires and use as many leftover parts as possible. That's what this is. That's what this is about. So that's coming up. You can watch it in future videos. Here's Maddox half dressed. Macy's teaching him how to fill and charge a fire extinguisher.
And almost. And
One of the
looks good.
One of the best investments
Just a little extra.
I have ever bought.
Woo.
Okay, Maddox, you gonna do it next time?
Yeah.
All right. Let me take a look at the readings. Make sure you did it right.
Now I get to take my monkey suit off.
No, it's your Oompa Loompa suit.
Same thing.
Oh yeah, good job, kids.
I did just a little extra just in case.
Perfect.
Okay, Max, you can put the air hose away now.
All right, so we lost the footage where I actually did this work, but this is just some round rod I had, and this is a 2-inch hole saw. So what we do, or what I did, is I took it and I drilled through here into this area. So this side has a seal and this side has a bearing, and it's too small for the sleeve to pass through. So you have to drill through here and then take this out, and it's going to get stuck. Come through the other end and do the same thing over here and come this way. And what you end up with is the ability to pass a 2-inch outside diameter sleeve through the whole thing. Now let's see if it fits. So look in here, Macy. So this is the whole point. This is the whole reason we're doing that. For this right here. We get that in there. We're going to drill holes in this tube and weld to this inner tube. And I might even throw some weld up in here. But what we're doing is we're tying these two halves together a little bit, and then we'll put a truss on it as well. You guys, are you gonna take turns?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I can figure out how to do it.
You need safety glasses.
Only that one.
Axiomatics did a pretty darn good job of cleaning this old ugly thing up. It's not perfect, but it's probably as good as I would do. Ready for me to start building it. Pretty happy with how it turned out so far. Gonna build a turdy 30 piece of turd axle.
Very funny.
Alright, I'm back on this. We still have oil leaks that are coming out. We got one side done. It's not the prettiest thing, but we got a new gasket. Onyx cleaned it up for me. And now I gotta do the other side. You know, a Jeep is almost getting done when I have to get the ladder out to work on the engine. So the valve cover gaskets are replaced. Hopefully now it doesn't leak a bunch of oil every time we drive it. I'm not sure, but I kind of wonder if you reuse the old valve cover gaskets when we put that engine back in. Normally I don't sleeve axle tubes. I trust them because most of the strength of the tube comes from the diameter, the size of the tube. The larger the diameter, the stronger the tube. Not so much the thickness, which is why drive shafts today in Jeeps and Fords, for instance, are pretty large diameter, but they're really thin. They actually weigh less that way, so the manufacturer has a lighter vehicle and uses less material for the same strength. The problem with that is when it does get a ding, those drive shafts just twist up like a pretzel. So there is some value in having a thicker tube. That's kind of how I ended up with this extra pipe, this tube piece that I have, is I was going to use it in a different Dana 30 build, decided it wasn't worth the effort, and I just trusted anyways to not even tube it. But in this case, where we have a two-piece axle, I do think there's value in getting an internal tube that's one piece that'll span that whole length. This is actually pretty thick. I think that will strengthen this axle up quite a bit. Okay, one thing you want to be careful of when you're welding in these tubes is, this one's from Iron Rock Off-Road. There's other ones as well, but when you push it in, you want to make sure you don't go so far that you can't get your seals in there. I've seen guys push that tube in so far they can't get the seal to seat, and then you've got a Dremel with a cutoff wheel and they're trying to trim that tube. So when you push it in, make sure you don't go in too far. Don't wiggle it.
Yeah. Dang.
Yep.
Really?
Nice welds.
Alright, so I got the tubes all welded up, including the tubes here and here, as best I could. I'm in the middle of welding on the C gussets. These things do bend. My wife bit one hitting a rock, so they do bend. I bought these when I was going to build her a new axle, but ended up going with RCVs. And anyone who's ever installed RCVs knows you kind of have to get to this area. These say they work with RCVs, but oh my gosh, that would be a total pain. So I didn't use these, and I bought other C gussets that go on the backside here, and those do work. She hit another big rock really fast and actually didn't bend them. But that means I have these left over, so I'm just going to use these on this axle since I'm not running RCVs. Next is to weld on the lower control arm bracket armor. It goes right here. And as you can see, it's pretty common for these things to get bent and even get ripped off if they get hit hard enough. This just reinforces them and attaches them at the front as well and helps keep you from ripping them off. Looks like that. So I'll get those welded on, but first I gotta bend this back. I gotta bend this one back, and then we'll give those a quick weld, and that part will be done. Well, the welding and fab work on this is almost done. All I got left is to put a truss on it. And I'm going to do something a little unusual. I'm not going to put a full truss on it or even a two-piece truss. Here's my reasons why. I'm going to do a partial truss. On many of the XJs, one of the big reasons they get trussed is this upper control arm bracket, this mount, is really flimsy and tall, welded, pretty thin sheet metal that gets ripped off. And so people end up putting a truss on there with a stronger mount. This is cast. This is actually pretty heavy duty. I really don't think that's going to break. And there's no sense in trussing here because this is almost all part of the same piece of cast. Well, we just got a little bit of tube sticking out, so it's really pointless to truss this. Kind of the same thing over here. There's like ½ inch of tube. What are we trussing? So all I'm going to do is take this, which is left over from another project. Hi, Macy. So all I'm going to do is take this, which is left over from another project, and I'm going to modify it. I'm going to cut it down, and we're just going to truss from here to here. That's going to be our truss. I really think this now is really the main weak point of this housing. We've got it sleeved. We've got all the tubes welded on the ends. We got C-gussets. We got lower control arm armor reinforced. I just want to truss this, and this is heavy duty enough that I think we'll be fine with our little 33-inch tires. We have 3-inch lift springs to put in the front, and we have no idea how much lift we actually got in the back. We added a leaf, we did a Ford 9-inch swap, and we did new heavy-duty bottom leaves. So this went up, and that's why it was looking like this when we were driving around the field. Right now it's on jack stands. Once we get the new axle in and the springs in, we have a bet of how much is this thing going to be raked. Is it going to be nose high, level, or nose down still? And if it's nose down, how much?
I say 1 inch.
Nose down? 1 inch nose down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Maddox, what do you say?
2 inches.
2 inches.
I think it's 2 inches.
That's my guess too. So, it's Maddox and I against Macy. So, whoever's closest, Macy is either buying us both ice creams, or we're each buying Macy an ice cream. Whoever's closest. So, we'll just save that for hopefully the next video, maybe 2 videos. When we get this all put back together, we'll find out who gets ice cream.
Yeah.